own brand of full-spectrum hemp extract, also known as CBD oil. I personally manage this product as it was grown on my farm here in Iredell County. It was then processed and bottled here in Statesville. This is a true herbal extract with all the medicinal components intact. A product you can trust to be authentic. And since there is no wholesaler, it's at a price you can afford. Try it at Lowry Drug on Hartness Road in Statesville.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome to WSIC News Talk Now. We have a fabulous hour for you. I think Debbie's still missing being a grandma, and I wish her all the luck and love in the world. I know how wonderful that is. She's probably going to join us next week. But this week we have a wonderful guest. Last week we talked about 3 new books for children. Megan Miller, welcome. I've known you off and on over the years.
I was going to say, it's a little 360 moment coming back around. It feels just like we left off last time.
And a friend of mine called me and said, I'm at a book signing. You've got to call Megan Miller. And she told me about Luke and the Lost Bell, which is your book.
It is, yes. This is
It's
my
about
second
your
baby.
son, your son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us the story.
Yeah, so Luke and the Lost Bell is kind of a healing journey for my family. Myself, my husband, and my son, we've been going through Luke's cancer diagnosis since 2021, when this all began. And the book has really allowed us to put a little bit of closure to the life we are living that I'll kind of take you back to into 2021. But the children's book it's very colorful. It's very vibrant. You can see on the book itself, it's a heartfelt children's book. It takes readers on an emotional journey through a child's battle with pediatric cancer.
Yes.
The book captures both the struggles and the triumphs, and celebrating the ringing of the bell, which is the symbol of a victory over cancer.
And that must have been the most beautiful noise you could ever hear.
Honestly, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be like. You go in there thinking I'm either going to bawl my eyes out or I'm not going to shed a tear. It kind of overcomes. It's very much like a singing bowl, like the, Tibetan singing bowls that you hear, like that are done during meditations. It was very, very emotional. You just hear the gongs ringing and the chimes, and you hear the bell, and it just takes over, and you see him, and he's so excited. You look around the room at everybody that had touched his life, everybody that made a difference and impacted us. It was beautiful. It really was truly beautiful.
I haven't read the book.
Well, that's because I just handed it to you.
I know. But what I loved about it when we talked was the fact that in the back, you have advice for parents and caregivers that are going through it.
That was the most important part about writing this. We really wanted to have a children's book that was first and foremost, like my husband says, it's a children's adventure story, something that both children with pediatric cancer can enjoy, as well as children that don't have pediatric cancer. And, we've seen both kinds of kids reading the story and understanding it. But the most important part was creating that resource for parents and caregivers, because when your child is diagnosed with cancer, especially at Luke's age, he was only 2 weeks shy of turning 3. And there's not a lot of books for that age. Luke was just learning to talk.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're trying to explain to him what's going on. My parents, who jumped in swiftly after moving to Charlotte, they're trying to help. And so the resource in the back it's personal and powerful. It's dedicated to those that are going through it. So we break it down sequence by sequence of what's happening in the book with Luke and Tootie. Tootie is his train. My son actually named the book. He actually named the train. And it was that, again, this was a huge collaborative effort with my husband, my son, and I. We really had fun writing this together.
Yeah.
And coming up with those different areas, especially with Luke picking out colors and characters. And so in the back, it basically takes them sequence by sequence of, Tootie is going through a storm right now. in the story, but in the back it says, we all weather storms during this. Some of them are going to be really quick and aggressive, and some are going to be long and very rainy. And that has reference to, for example, Luke's type of lymphoma was a very slow treatment plan. So it took us 3 years to go through treatment. My friend Kelly, her treatment was quicker. It was within a year they had already gone through it. So everybody's journey looks different. And the book is meant for that. We talk about different mental health preparedness tips, breathing exercises you can do as a family, who to reach out to during different phases, when to lean on your child life support specialist, and when to lean on your friends and your family. Because everybody always asks, what can I do? How can I help? And your brain's going through so many phases of emotions. And what I tell people is just ride the wave.
Yeah.
Be there when I'm ready to come back to you, because you can only give so much food. Please, you can only give children so many toys. I cannot elaborate on that. Every time people saw they gave Luke toys, and that was great. We're trying to backtrack that now, because every time you see somebody's like, do they have toys for me?
Yeah.
And so, I think there's a lot of emotional preparedness that needs to go into the thought process.
It's probably
of
the
a journey.
scariest thing you'll ever hear as a parent. Both my kids, they thought had cancer.
Really?
And they were talking about my daughter. Well, we'll just cut her arm right here.
Just to need that, yeah.
And my son, similar thing. And it is the most lonely, scary time.
Well,
and
yeah,
as
and
a parent,
especially,
you got to be strong for your child.
yeah, exactly.
But
They look for you for everything. They look for your cues.
yeah,
They look, you're not prepared for it, but I think, you have to be strong for your children, but you also have to give yourself grace.
yes, you do.
That's a huge part of this. And the reason that we went through this journey with the story, and letting parents know it's okay to not be okay.
That's right.
And I think we try to hold it up. I know even myself, I jumped right back into work. I tried to cope, just by staying busy. And, burnout comes faster when the wick burns faster.
Good expression.
And, those are just things that, again, on this, we want the children to have some type of way to escape this. So having the book also is a story that they can read and they can identify with. They can identify with
Well,
Luke.
and I love getting back to the books because you can
Mm-hmm.
hold your child, read
Yes.
to him, and it's not technology where they.
No, there doesn't need to be any more technology, but I think there needs to be a return to the
Yes,
origins,
yes,
return to tangible things.
absolutely. Now, where can people get this book?
Absolutely. So lukeandthelostbell.com is currently where we have all of our online purchases. And we also are going to start popping up in local bookstores around the Charlotte, Lake Norman, and Mooresville area.
Okay.
We just had our first book signing that was at the Waterman, where
Yeah.
Kathy had reached out to you, and it was very successful.
So, what are you doing? Can you get over
I know.
here?
How quickly can you get here? We have oysters. And so we have more book signings coming up to local boutiques around the area. Neighborhood Cafe is hosting a book signing for us in November. Nina's Boutique is doing one in
Good.
October.
Beautiful.
We hope to add these every month. And they're fun for Luke. Luke loves signing books. We're completely not ready for that. But he really jumps in and, makes sure that people know the stories about him
Well, I
and
bet
his
he's
journey.
very proud.
He's very proud. It's his book, not
Yeah.
mine.
Oh, well, we're going to take a short break, and I hope you all stay with us because Megan is an amazing person, and it's not just Megan being the author, opera singer, marketing. You've done a lot of things.
I wear a lot of hats.
You
I do like
do.
hats.
So we will be back in a minute with more information on healing yourself and healing children with cancer.
Stay with us. We'll have more of Community Centered presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, can you feel it? Fall air has officially arrived. A good reminder, too, that our friends in Western North Carolina still need help. And if you're thinking about supplies, cold weather supplies, things to keep people warm, are going to be a good idea. Meanwhile, weather-wise, back down around the Lake Norman, comfortable out the door. Low humidity, fall airs. We warm into the mid-70s this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, too, dropping back into the upper 40s overnight with low 70s for Wednesday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The app with Lake Norman deals. The WSIC app is out now, wherever you get your apps.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Brookdale Village in Huntersville presents their free concert series Live Under the Oaks on Friday. The Village is open all day for shopping and dining with Rocky Wind taking the stage at 6 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy on-site beverages from Red Rocks. Live Under the Oaks with Rocky Wind kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday in Brookdale Village. Old Town Cornelius is alive again with October's Second Friday Street Festival. Join friends and neighbors on October 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Oak Street Mill in Cornelius for the Second Friday Street Festival season finale. Live music, an all-star lineup of breweries, delicious food trucks, sweet treats, a kids zone, petting zoo, vendors, and giveaways highlight a night of fun for the entire family. We'll see you in Old Town Cornelius for the Second Friday Street Festival. NASCAR returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for their annual fall weekend in October on the Roval. The Xfinity Series holds the Drive for the Cure 250 on Saturday. The Cup Series competes in the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday. Weekend ticket packages as well as daily tickets are available. Also, check out deals for military service members, college students, suites, the Champions Pavilion, the Indoor Clubhouse, Terrace Box, 4-packs, and more. Don't miss any of the entertainment, including Eli Young Band and Tim Duggar concerts before NASCAR's National Series step closer to their championships. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for information, tickets, and details. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law, a staple in our community since 1997, returns now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, and once again, thank you, Macintosh Law Firm. We just so appreciate all that you do in the community today. I was at the Chamber Expo today, and if you get a chance, there's still time till 5 at Huntersville Recreational Center. Stop in because it was fabulous. Also, I would love to encourage people to call in if you have a question for me or for Megan. Studio 844 Studio 4. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. You just have so many other talents that you do. Marketing, opera singer, author, mom, wife, nonprofits, for-profits.
Yep, I work with both nonprofit and for-profits in my company.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so Megan Miller Marketing was formed actually in 2019. I used to do a few, side jobs here and there. And actually, 2 weeks before Luke's cancer diagnosis, I went full into my company in 2021. Previous before that, I was the marketing director over at Opera Carolina. I've worked in tech. I've worked in entertainment. I've worked in electronics. I've always been kind of a collector of jobs, per se. Being a creative, I think I'm constantly looking to fill all the different facets of my personality. And I think that's kind of where all the many hats come from. I just have so much love for living, and I have so much passion for experiencing it all while I'm here on earth. And so, I feel a lot of people think I do too much or I do a lot, but for me, that is just kind of how I'm made.
Are you a Gemini?
I am absolutely a Gemini.
Oh, so am I. My husband used to say to me, you don't have 2 personalities, you have 10.
Yes, absolutely. I think I go through a roller coaster. Sometimes I hit all 10 of them in a day.
I know. I love
but yeah,
it.
I've always, taking it back to, opera singing, I've always sang I went to college for voice performance, as
Okay.
well as a BA in business marketing. And opera was always just a love for me. I enjoy singing it. I enjoy performing. When my husband and I used to move around a lot, and I would always find an opera job before a regular job. I would always go to auditions, and it was really exciting for me. We didn't have any children at the time, so it was a great way for me to dive in and fill that creative void along with having, a corporate job or some type of other job. And yeah, and I've been singing here in Charlotte. I started as a resident artist back in 2013.
Yeah.
And then I was a resident artist up until 2018. And then I kind of went on a hiatus when I had my son. I went back to opera for a couple of years while he was still, a toddler. And then in 2021, I kind of went into retirement a little bit when he was
Yeah.
diagnosed, just to
Yes.
become a full-time caretaker myself. I did have my business going the whole time while he was in cancer treatments, just not that heavy of a workload. I kind
Right.
of kept my clients to a select few. But yeah, these past 2 years, once he went into remission, I kind of revved the company back up again. I do all types of marketing strategies for profits and for nonprofits, small, medium-sized businesses. I really like the strategic marketing side of it. I like putting all the facets of marketing into one strategy. So direct mail, email, websites, events, press, PR, anything. I put all of it together, and it again kind of goes with my personality.
Yeah. Pulling it all together for
Yeah,
companies.
absolutely. And I love working for the past year and a half. I've been working primarily with Lake Norman, Mooresville businesses. I still have a couple in Uptown Charlotte, but I really have loved working closer to home. Lately,
Yes. Yeah.
I've been doing a lot more event marketing and influencer events, and bringing people to their businesses and collecting, collecting all of like the really beautiful souls up here in Lake Norman. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, this is a great place to live.
It is. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work.
Yeah.
The community aspect is wonderful. I feel everybody's kind of connected through a seventh degree, and that's kind of a really nice thing I've been enjoying is a community collector.
Yes.
Really, it's a lot about who you know and how everybody can help each other out, which is something I like to bring to my clients. Which is, this is a really great opportunity for you to be a part of. So connecting someone to another business,
That's right.
they ultimately expand and make more business opportunities through that. So that's really what I've been working on with the business recently. And of course, we dive into a little bit of AI and marketing, as the technology. I'm talking about bringing it back to tangible things with books, but at the same time, my company is moving in a different direction, with really trying to re-energize some of these small and medium-sized businesses and educate them on how they can do it. I'm really into the whole teach a man to fish theory. If I can come in and kind of consult, I
Yes.
understand the budgets are different with small and medium-sized businesses.
Right.
So coming in, teaching you how to do things, being there as a support system. But ultimately, people don't, the best people to market their business is the business itself.
That's
They
right.
know the best. Their employees know
Yep.
the best. So if I can help in that way and teach staff or consult and help them to kind of fish for themselves versus just coming in and doing it all and then them having to restart again. If,
What don't you do?
I've not been to space.
Nor do you probably want to.
I mean, not yet. It's not on my bucket list yet. Unless Luke becomes an astronaut, maybe I'd put some trust in him.
That sounds wonderful. What have you not done that you want to do? What is on your bucket list?
Honestly, right now, I'm really getting into teaching. I really am getting into educating. I'm getting into advocacy a lot more. Last year, our family went to DC for Childhood Cancer Action Days, and we went and spoke
Okay.
to legislators about the cancer bills that are in progress or are being passed, drug shortages. And that was something really empowering because we took Luke with us.
Yes.
And my husband got a chance to speak as well as I did. And Luke kind of went out and he took over the show a couple of times in Tom Tillis's office. He flat out was like, I have cancer and I went to Legos yesterday and you should really help support us. And watching him grow into that. And, I've always enjoyed working in a team environment. And I think something that I would like to do as I kind of continue to grow my own development is look into teaching and helping others, create things.
Yes. Yeah. Great direction.
Yeah. I mean, as a mother, you're kind of always teaching someone how to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, getting back to the book, which I just absolutely cannot wait to dive into it
Yeah,
and try to help you with all the things that we do for Little Smiles.
absolutely. Fundraising is a huge part of our mission.
And Reese, I wonder if you can show some of the pictures of Luke in the book. There we go.
That was our book signing at the Waterman. He was so excited, like I said before. He was signing all the books, and he was just really proud to see his book come to life. He sees so much of himself in the cardboard cutouts and the outfit.
That's wonderful.
You know, the photo that I sent our illustrator that he's wearing that outfit, Luke was so upset that the outfit didn't fit him anymore because he wanted to wear that outfit. And I was like, he wanted to be the character. And we've had a lot of fun with it. My parents have had a blast with this book process and playing with Luke. My dad hid the cardboard cutout all over the yard in different places, and Luke was having a blast finding it, and I was showing him pictures. And
let's look at the next one. And I found some on your website too, but I didn't. There we go.
Oh, there he is.
There's
my little
the book.
red head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
He represents so many children that are going through this. I mean, and that's what I say, you know, when I say that our mission is personal and powerful, it really is. Because, of course, the book is based on Luke's journey, but the book is actually written for the children and the families going through this. And our mission with the books is not to sell books just to be an author or have a book out there, but for all the money that we are getting from the book sales, we are donating that right back to the hospitals and the clinics across the country to get these into families' hands. We want no family to ever have to pay for a book.
Yeah.
It's such a valuable resource. We partnered up with the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. In the back of the book is a toolkit that I personally used for our own journey when trying to find information on how to deal with things, what side effects there are. And the only reason I knew about that resource was because I had worked with the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation years before Luke's diagnosis. But other people don't know where to find resources. We put a QR code in the back of the book that links them directly to the same resource that we used. Kelly Goddard, who is a very, very dear friend of mine, put this workbook, this toolkit together, and you can scan it. It takes you directly to that link, and that's a resource is priceless. And so they were kind enough to let us share that with everybody who buys the book.
Okay. And I did say I wanted to put you in touch with Kat and Jesse, who
we'd be happy.
They founded Books on the Books on the Run or Books on the Home, and they come with this big trailer full of books and to the hospitals.
Yep,
the moms can come in and get a book. The kids can come in and let's get back to reading and sitting and enjoying and growing.
I know. Everybody keeps asking if there's a digital version. I'm like, not yet.
No, because you probably don't want one.
Well, when you're in the clinics, there's tons of digital stimulation. And that you rely on your iPads, your devices. I mean, you're in there for anywhere between 3 to 6 hours for treatments. And so having the book and having it be there, it's something that you can bond with your child over. They can see themselves in Luke. They can see their own journey. The purpose is for them to follow along with Luke and say, oh, I'm here. This is the phase I'm in right now. And for parents to say, there is going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. We're just stuck right here.
That's right. What a beautiful gift to him.
Yes.
He'll carry this forever.
Absolutely. I hope so.
Yeah. And those memories will never leave. So after the commercial, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about what you do and how people can help you.
Yep. We'll go over the mission.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay with us. Don't go away because we've got lots more to come.
There's more Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law and hosted by Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, can you feel it? Fall air has officially arrived. A good reminder, too, that our friends in Western North Carolina still need help. And if you're thinking about supplies, cold weather supplies, things to keep people warm are going to be a good idea. Meanwhile, weather-wise, back down around Lake Norman, comfortable out the door. Low humidity, fall airs. We warm into the mid-70s this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, too, dropping back into the upper 40s overnight and low 70s for Wednesday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Serving Lake Norman and the Charlotte area for over 40 years, Horn Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted source to get you ready for a warm and cozy winter. Experience the feeling of Visit hornhvac.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
On the lot at Black Automotive. Look at these Buick Envistas. The all-new Buick Envistas are leasing for as low as $299 a month. Check with them here at Black Automotive for all the details. Black Automotive Statesville.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress? Just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageAndWellness.com with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Home Depot, making its corporate employees, including senior management and remote workers, work one full 8-hour shift at one of its stores every quarter. It's to keep those suits better connected to the chain's core business and to understand the challenges that those store workers face every day. Shares of the do-it-yourself chain up more than 1%, while elsewhere on Wall Street stocks are higher thanks to a rally in the tech sector and falling oil prices. Right now, the Dow is up 0.25%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ up nearly 1.25%, and the S&P is up 0.75%. And oil is down more than 4% below $74 a barrel. The industrial giant Honeywell gearing up to spin off its advanced material division to a separate company. It makes refrigerants, industrial adhesives, and asphalt. Could be worth $10 billion. And America's biggest supermarket owner, Kroger, is adding either Disney Plus, Hulu, or ESPN Plus streaming TV services for free to its grocery delivery subscribers. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
All community, all the time. McIntosh Law presents Community Centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I'm Margi Kyle, and I'm here with Megan Miller. If you would like to be a guest on our show, we have our show every Tuesday from 3 to 4. Just give a call in 844-STUDIO-4 and let Reese or Joe know that you would like to be a guest on our show, and we can make that happen. I also want to just do a quick little shout out about my Little Smiles golf tournament on October 14th. And Reese is going to put that up on the screen in just a minute so that you can see that. But we still have room for golfers, so don't be shy. Come and have a good time. It's at Northstone Country Club, and the proceeds go to my nonprofit Little Smiles.
Brent plays in that. My husband plays in that.
Oh, does he?
Mhm.
Oh, good. Well, you come and join us too and bring some books.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and bring your son.
Yes. He's doing golf lessons now, so.
Oh, good. Yeah. So, okay. Hope to see you at that golf tournament. Let's talk for a minute about gratitude because I'm sure it's very difficult during difficult times
It is.
to be grateful.
It is difficult, but for some reason, you find ways to be grateful.
Yeah.
And I've had a sign in my bedroom for many years that says, be grateful for the small things because one day they become the big things. And I don't think that ever was placed more appropriately anywhere in my house or in a household than ours because I started to look at it every night. It's behind our door. So when I'd close our door at nighttime, I'd look at it and think about the small things that are now big things.
Yeah.
Something as simple as going to school, tying your shoes, potty training,
Right.
talking, the small milestones that parents get to watch with their toddlers suddenly kind of are in the back burner for us.
Yes.
And the gratitudes used to move from being able to talk to being able to talk again, being
Yeah.
able to, take your first steps all over again.
So you soak in these small victories and are thankful for all the hope they provide.
Yes, pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean, I think with everything, even in our marriage, things that we used to take for granted now suddenly are, we're trying to spend more time together as a family. We're
Yeah.
taking, there was a period where everybody was traveling for a lot of time. And, all of a sudden we slowed that down again to just be thankful in being more present, being more, we would go do more walks, more things locally, more things, again, we weren't able to travel with Luke during the beginning stages of treatment. And so we we kind of created an oasis in our own backyard, ways to regrow, our faith, putting a lot of emphasis on where we are with our faith and knowing that ultimately we don't have control of the situation, but we can be grateful that we are in the situation that we are.
Now, does Luke feel grateful?
We do. We talked to him a lot about, what he went through. And again, he got diagnosed just 3 weeks after he turned 3. And so he was really little. And that is something that we kind of talk a lot about, what you went through. We show him a lot of pictures.
Yes.
He really has grasped where he came from and where he is now. He tells us that he didn't feel good, but he didn't know how to verbalize it. He remembers being tortured and tormented in the clinics and
Yes.
poked and prodded.
Yeah.
And, he remembers all of that. So he knows that he achieved something truly, truly great. And that he had a huge support system through all of that. With his both sets of grandparents were there for him. Anytime there were hospital runs that someone couldn't make, my parents would step in. Brent's parents would fly out. I would take him. Brent would take him. It was a huge family unit that he got to witness coming together. And I think I told you this earlier, but nobody ever wishes cancer on anybody.
No,
But if
no.
it was to happen to a family, I am grateful that it was us because Luke did respond very well to treatments and he did do the unbelievableness of ringing the bell. And we were able to turn our adversity into an opportunity with the
Right.
book and advocacy. And we're doing everything possible to pay it forward to the next family in hopes that, there wasn't a resource for ages 0 to 5, with cancer. There wasn't a illustrated children's book out there that also dealt with the parents and the caregivers in one story.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's a catch-all book. It's something, and again, like my husband said, it's a children's adventure book first. It's something that his friends can enjoy and Luke can enjoy. But then if you understand that when you see the tangled railroad lines, they look like IV lines. When you look at the water tank getting filled up, it looks like fluid that you would see in a hospital. There are a lot of very subtle tips to the hospital stay and the things that people are going through when they're in the clinics that only if you're in the cancer speakeasy would you know.
Yeah. I would love to have him write a book when he's about 20.
I mean, yeah, anywhere between that or being an oncologist when he gets older.
Yeah. I can see both coming.
Yeah. So right now he just wants to be an Olympic golfer is what he says he wants to be. Not even a pro golfer, just an Olympic one.
I'm sure he will, but what a gift to children who are going through this.
I want children to have a relationship with 2D.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I want them to see themselves. And the book is just the very beginning for us. We have ideas for, coloring books and
Yes.
maps that parents can print out and have something physical that they can look at with their kids to look forward to something to
right.
move them forward. Because again, at that age between 1 and 5, they don't know that, okay, the next step is consolidation. That means, we're going to clean up everything that we just killed. So going through the train ride, it's like, okay, well, your train got really messy. We've got to clean it up now. And they can relate to that.
Yeah.
I've always told stories via analogies because it's the best way to break it down. Opera, marketing, any way to try to describe what you're going through in a storytelling. And that's really where this came from. The idea came from having to tell people about Luke's story through analogies.
Yeah.
And a train just made sense because he loves trains. His oncologists and nurses, he didn't come to a single appointment without at least a bag of trains.
That's wonderful.
It really is. And again, we had such a great experience for such a tragic story.
Yes.
But these nurses, the oncologists, they become family. Anytime you see, a story about kids going through cancer, very rarely do you see a positive one.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of positive light being shed on pediatric cancer. And that's because often the harsh reality is there are deaths that come along with this diagnosis. And so we want to be that glimmer of hope when a parent hears that your child has cancer.
Yeah.
We don't want them to immediately go to the commercials and to the Google WebMD and go through. We want them to be like, okay, I remember that there is a resource. I remember there's that family in Charlotte that did it. There's that.
Is there
people.
a website that they can go to?
So right now, lukeandthelostbell.com has
Okay.
all the resources for the children's book. National Pediatric Cancer Foundation has quadruple the amount of resources for parents to go and learn more about the chemos, go more about the statistics. What they're doing at a national level is with pediatric cancer research is incredible. Every dollar goes towards research. And locally, you have Isabella Santos Foundation, who is doing that at a local level. And they're getting to be about a national level, too. But again, they deal with rare pediatric cancer diseases, as well as your common diagnoses as well. But they are really putting it in there to the research. Because the thing that people don't realize, and this is what we talked a lot about at DC, is that the medicines that we're treating our children with are the same medicines that we treat adults with.
Oof.
There is no children's cancer chemo. There is no children's radiation. There is no drug designed specifically for children.
Did he get really, really sick?
He got sick. Yep. And it's because you're basically taking an adult drug and dosing it for children.
And that must have been scary.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
When they would say his nerves, he still doesn't have his reflexes back. And it's 6 months since he rang the bell. And he's going to have that for another year. There are other children who have lost hearing. They've lost vision. It depends on, again, these are things that you hear, on the commercials where your side effects are, nausea, diarrhea, upset stomach, all these like side effects. Well, the children's are life-threatening side effects.
Yeah.
And so what we're constantly trying to encourage our government to do is to spend the money on the research that enables us to find something that is actually made for the children, that we can finally get to a point where they are being treated for their own age.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's a big deal, but there's a lot of good work being put into it. There's a lot of people raising the awareness around that research. We
are going to go to a commercial break, and I hope you all stay with us. Call in if you've got a question.
We'd love to hear you.
I'm just so proud of how you took a bad situation, made such a beautiful, positive outcome.
It was the only way we saw it.
That good for you. We will be right back. Stay with us. Fabulous.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the Community Center discussion on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Presented by Macintosh Law.
Well, can you feel it? Fall air has officially arrived. A good reminder, too, that our friends in Western North Carolina still need help. And if you're thinking about supplies, cold weather supplies, things to keep people warm are going to be a good idea. Meanwhile, weather-wise, back down around the Lake Norman, comfortable out the door. Low humidity, fall airs. We warm into the mid-70s this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, too, dropping back into the upper 40s overnight and low 70s for Wednesday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Brookdale Village in Huntersville presents their free concert series Live Under the Oaks on Friday. The village is open all day for shopping and dining with Rocky Lynn taking the stage at 6 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy on-site beverages from Red Rocks. Live Under the Oaks with Rocky Lynn kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday in Brookdale Village. Old Town Cornelius is alive again with October's Second Friday Street Festival. Join friends and neighbors on October 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Oak Street Mill in Cornelius for the Second Friday Street Festival season finale. Live music, an all-star lineup of breweries, delicious food trucks, sweet treats, a kids zone, petting zoo, vendors, and giveaways highlight a night of fun for the entire family. We'll see you in Old Town Cornelius for the Second Friday Street Festival. NASCAR returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for their annual fall weekend in October on the Roval. The Xfinity Series holds the Drive for the Cure 250 on Saturday. The Cup Series competes in the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday. Weekend ticket packages as well as daily tickets are available. Also, check out deals for military service members, college students, suites, the Champions Pavilion, the Indoor Clubhouse, Terrace Box, 4-packs, and more. Don't miss any of the entertainment, including Eli Young Band and Tim Duggar concerts before NASCAR's National Series step closer to their championships. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for information, tickets, and details. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Now back to Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law, only on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. This time is just flying by.
Doesn't feel like an hour.
I know, and I'm just so proud to have you as our guest.
I love being here. This is great. I love radio. Radio is so much fun. You're comfortable,
Yeah.
you know, you're still live, but yeah, it's a very comfortable place.
Good. And Debbie, we miss you, so come back
Yes,
next
I was
week.
so looking forward to seeing you. I don't think I've seen Debbie, like I said before. She was at Luke's baby shower.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so talk again about a 360 moment.
That's right. Now, there must be people out there saying, I love what you've done. Your story, your gratitude, the whole bit. How can they help if they want to help?
Yeah, that's a great question. So obviously purchasing the book is wonderful.
Yeah.
And we love that. And obviously we have donations available, but the best way you can do if you have a business or organization is hosting a book signing. We work with all retailers. Like I said, we're going from restaurants to boutiques to organizations. Our book signings, we bring Luke with us. He signs the books. He loves it. He loves to eat the food. We bring a whole group of people, that come to support. And then also we're encouraging organizations, churches, group of friends. It only takes 50 books to supply a hospital in their pediatric cancer unit for a year. Based on what we're hearing from child life specialists.
Okay.
Again, that'll probably fluctuate every year. So what we are asking is if your organization wants to sponsor a hospital with a 50-book donation, they can either reach out to us on our website at lukeandthelostbell.com under ways to donate, or you can reach out to myself personally. I'm on Instagram at Marketing Mezzo. There's also an Instagram of Luke and the Lost Bell. And all you have to do is raise enough money or host a book signing event for 50 books. And then we take those books and we personally deliver them to those hospitals and clinics.
I think that is amazing. I mean, that does You're not talking millions of dollars here.
No, no, not at all. And and that again,
And that would make a difference in so many lives.
yeah, we've supplied now 4 hospitals with books, and we've only had 2 book signings, if that says anything on our popularity, in the community. But there's so many more. Once we hit North Carolina, we want to go to South Carolina. We have contacts that have reached out to us in Florida and Minneapolis and Arizona, that will be shipping books to. So that is a huge way that you can support us and support the hospitals. Because again, our mission is no family is to pay for a book. This is a resource that was made specifically for them.
I just applaud you for that. That's wonderful.
Again, this has been a healing journey, I think, for all of us.
Yes.
And Luke's such a part of the community. So a lot of the people, every single person that has hosted a book signing has had a personal connection with him. And that is the first thing they ask is, what can we do? How can we support? And I said, let's host a book signing. Let's, I spoke at Charlotte is Creatives last Friday, and we actually sold 0 books, or not 0, I'm sorry. We sold maybe 8 books, but we raised enough to fulfill a clinic in donations.
Yeah.
So again, even if you don't want to actually have a physical book or don't have a need for a physical book, you can still host a book signing event, and we can raise money. We can raise funds that'll go then into the hospitals and the clinics. We've already had 4 families that have benefited from our book directly with a recent cancer diagnosis.
Wow.
That was probably the most powerful thing. My best friend of 10 years, I was in her wedding. Her daughter was diagnosed with a variant of sarcoma a month ago. And the first thing she had asked for was, I know your book isn't out yet. Can you send me the digital copies? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that to me was very bone chilling, but also very reassuring of our purpose. And then last Friday at the Charlotte is Creative event, I had a woman come up and say that her best friend from college, her daughter is in Memphis right now at St. Jude's. And they are trying to understand what is next and how do we talk to this about our 6-year-old. And so I literally almost gave her the whole box. Here, just take them. But I gave them 2 copies, and I just said, our book is right now in consideration with St. Jude's as one of their resource guides. So we'll have updates on that if it's approved to be a resource guide out in Memphis.
Well, when you hear those words, your whole world falls apart.
Yeah. It does, and it's not fun for the kids at that age because they don't understand.
Well, at any age.
There's no way to tell someone who's little this is going. And there were kids there that were younger than Luke was.
Yeah.
Mothers, some of these kids look like they're just fresh out of the hospital, and they went straight from being born to the NICU to, the oncology department. Yeah. And so sometimes this book isn't for the children, and it's going to be more for the parents.
That's right.
And I really do want to build upon that mission and value with the resources. And, again, I've had a lot of feedback from Child Life with the back of the book portion for the caregivers about elaborating on it a little bit more in a book that's maybe designed specifically for those parents and caregivers.
Well, I would love to help you in any way Little Smiles can. Get you in the door.
Little Smiles has been with us for a long time. We've been supporting you all for longer than you've been supporting us.
Well, but I think it's you obviously was in your heart to do this, but you're filling a need for so many people.
Yeah.
So many people. I mean, before COVID, BC.
The new BC.
I can remember going to Levine Children's Hospital and talking to the NICU unit nurses and saying, it's Christmas. Every day is Christmas.
It is.
What do you need?
Yeah.
And finally, I said, okay, so you're not going to get anything if you don't ask.
Yeah.
One gal said, our moms love to do, the crafting things.
Oh, yeah.
Could you come in and supply, can you get us cameras, Polaroid, cameras?
When there'd be craft day, I remember specifically there used to be a guitarist that would come in to St. Jude, and he would just play the guitar in the corner, but he always had a guitar next to him with no one playing it.
Yeah.
And he would encourage the kids to go up, and he used to play beautiful music in the lobby, and then he would go to the back to the infusion centers where the kids were all hooked up, and he would just sit there and play, and Luke gravitated to him as soon he saw that guitar not being played, and he was like, this is not right. Somebody should be playing that guitar.
Well, and one of the nurses finally said, we would love some special blankets, not
Mm.
just a. So we went out and got.
It's very cold in there. That is for
It
sure.
is.
They have heated blankets, but it's not what you think
We
it is.
collected wedding dresses
Oh, I love that idea.
and then lined them
Mm-hmm.
and gave them to the moms who couldn't get their baby home
Mm.
to wrap them in something to keep them warm.
Yeah, it is. It's and they have all sorts of things to take your mind off of it. And I mean, I'll definitely I'll come clean. I definitely partook in lots of slime making and perler bead activities myself. Luke would be,
Yeah.
he might have taken some Benadryl and fallen asleep, and I'm still over there like making perler beads for the other kids and making bracelets.
That's right.
'Cause for me, yes, I had work, but I also needed to escape.
Yes, you do.
And and it was, and you find yourself scrolling infinitely on your phone. And again, it's getting back to the basics with tangible things. You cannot replace sewing with Minecraft. You cannot, the infinite
But
scroll.
the scrapbooking for the moms to be able to go in and do.
Yeah.
And they could go and take a picture of that baby doing whatever.
Yep. Oh yeah, Polaroids the kid. And sometimes you get the greatest photos with those Polaroids.
That's right. Yeah. So again, it's the little things in life that help people sometimes when they most need it.
The gratitude comes back again. You just
It
you
does.
have to put yourself in, there are days I remember that, there were really low lows and really high highs, they say, with cancer. But, I think that we turned every day, whether it was a low or a high, into some type of adventure. Whether it was with food. Luke he's a huge foodie. So we took full advantage of DoorDash. And, I would DoorDash in the craziest things you could think of. We did
Yeah.
a cheesecake once from Cheesecake Factory. We did sushi. I would literally just hand him my phone and say, pick whatever you want, and that's going to be lunch. And we would just create these wild experiences, but that was what he was so excited about, because he knew going into clinic that he was going to get the sushi, he was going to get crab legs, he was going to get a cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory or McDonald's. And that was so exciting for him that he couldn't wait to get to clinic, fully knowing he was going to get poked, hooked up, and we're going to be there for 8 hours. But we'd go to Panera. First thing in the morning was always the cheese souffle. And then it was the orange juice in the red cup. And we would always get our cheese souffle on chemo days. And then so that was the first level of excitement. We get to clinic, he'd see all of his ladies, his nurse friends. That's the second level. And then the third level, he gets through the tough parts, and then we play. And then the next one is we get our fancy lunch. And so it's building in these levels of excitement for him and not letting that momentum stop. Because
That's right.
as soon as you stop building excitement for him, that's when the children get concerned. Like, wait, why aren't you happy to be here? Why should I be happy to be here if you're not happy to be here? And so I became an entertainer and a storyteller, because that's
Which
what
you are.
Yeah. And that, I think, again, everything just kind of comes back. You just have to find ways. And again, it keeps yourself moving. I'm a note taker. I'm an agenda lover. So task check, and that's how I would get through these days. And when we get home, it was family time. Everything went into one task block. Like, this is family time, and 9 times out of 10, Luke would fall asleep before bed, and we'd carry him up because it was a long day. And, that's when Brett and I would kind of have to go back to our roots. Like, okay, do we watch a movie? Or, you can't just like call it a day and shut the lights off. You have to do something for yourself. And for me, that was either a hot bath or reading a good book.
Yeah.
And that became routine for me to calm my mind down and really recenter on the mental health piece that I talk a lot about in the book, is doing things for yourself. Because self-care is not about, taking a spa day or getting, a facial. Self-care can be something like going outside, talking to friends, eating a good meal, all the ways that we take care of ourselves and nourish our bodies, because without them, we can't do incredible things.
Thank you so much. And you have done an incredible thing. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you for letting me share my story.
Oh my gosh. We will be back next week. Please, if you would like to be a guest or if you have a question, don't hesitate to call in and let us know. We so appreciate you. And this hour goes so fast.
So fast. I couldn't believe it. You're like, can you fill an hour? I'm like, I'm going to try. Now I'm like, are we done already?
I know. I know. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Stay safe.
serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Morrisville.